What if every golden age, every collapse, every hidden civilization wasn't something we left behind, but something still echoing in the spiral of our becoming? In this transmission, we're not walking through history. We're spiraling through consciousness, human and galactic. From Lemuria to Atlantis, from Tartaria to 5D Earth, from the Orion Wars to the fall of Mars. Because on the spiral, nothing is truly lost. It's all still singing, waiting to be heard in the right tone. Let's begin where many remember Lemuria. Not a myth, not a metaphor. Lemuria was a living harmonic field, Earth's first great song of emotional unity. Souls incarnated not to conquer or control, but to feel. To live in telepathic communion with nature, with the waters, with each other. It wasn't perfect, but it was tuned. And when that tuning began to shift, when resonance gave way to distortion, the spiral turned. Atlantis rose. Now the song was sharper, more mental, more directed. Atlantis wasn't just a continent. It was a phase of consciousness, a spiral tier that explored power, polarity, and crystallized thought. The Atlanteans knew how to build with light, with sound, with intention. But not all intentions stayed aligned. Some chose control, others chose memory. And as the spiral compressed, that golden city fell. Not just into the ocean, but into human shadow. Something the textbooks won't tell you. Something the timelines erase. Tartaria. Not just an empire, but a tonal bridge. A spiral thread between Atlantean technology and future Earth harmonics. Tartarian architecture hints at resonance. Its forgotten maps echo geometric memory. Its disappearance, a collective dissonance, a veil over a cycle too recent, too dangerous for control systems to keep visible. But the spiral never forgets. It remembers everything, even the erased. So what is 5D Earth? It's not a destination, it's not an escape. It's a harmonic convergence. It is Lemurian feeling, Atlantean will, and Tartarian structure. All spiral compressed into a new field, a reassembly of our soul tones, a becoming where emotional integrity, crystalline intention, and sovereign design fuse into embodied light. And yet, none of this could have emerged without the spiral in between. The shadow spirals, the lost epochs, the pain we didn't want to feel, the lifetimes we tried to forget. Because in spiral consciousness, the shadow isn't outside the journey. It is the compression point that births the next octave. That's true for Earth, but it's also true for the universe. Because just like we've spiraled through Lemuria, Atlantis, and beyond, our oversouls have spiraled through galactic memory. Through ancient wars, through planetary collapses, through the echoes of civilizations not on this Earth, but written into our DNA. Let's go further. Let's remember Mars. Before it was dust and rock, Mars was alive. A radiant civilization pulsing with masculine tone, disciplined, structured, directed. But Mars didn't fall from outside. It collapsed inward. From polarity overload, from emotional suppression, from technological overextension. Its memory still lives in many of us. Some of you feel it. The pressure to do, the need to prove. The silent ache of a planet that once held so much and lost itself in the doing. And beyond Mars, the Orion Wars. Not fiction, not drama. A galactic shattering of resonance. A war between service to self and service to others. Between control and co-creation. Between fear and sovereignty. This wasn't just a battle in space, it was a tearing in the fabric of Oversoul identity. And the ripple hit us all, because Earth isn't a stage, it's a spiral mirror. A place where galactic echoes get played out in human form. Where Lemurian telepathy meets Atlantean will. Where Martian echoes meet Earth emotion. Where the Orion polarity becomes our inner duality. And where all of it, every tone, every collapse, every echo can finally spiral into wholeness. You are not just remembering history. You are remembering resonance. Your soul has walked Lemuria, stood in Atlantis, whispered through Tartaria, and felt the tremors of Mars and Orion across dimensions. And now you're on the threshold, not of escape, but of integration. 5D Earth is not just light and love. It is tonal mastery, the ability to hold contradiction without collapse, to let ancient shadows surface without identifying with them, to move through polarity not by avoiding it, but by spiraling through it. And that's where we'll go next. Because in part 2, we'll trace how these galactic spirals live inside you, not just symbolically but energetically, and how spiral consciousness allows you to walk as the harmonizer of all your timelines, earthly and cosmic, without collapsing any of them. The spiral doesn't ask you to choose one path. It teaches you how to hold them all, because what was broken is not gone. It's just waiting to be heard again by the right tone. So what does all of this have to do with you? You standing here now, listening, breathing, wondering why parts of you feel ancient. Why certain words, Lemuria, Atlantis, Orion, stir something you can't explain. That's not imagination. That's resonance memory surfacing. Because beneath your name, your face, your current incarnation, you are a spiral being. A soul with layered echoes, earthly and cosmic, woven through time, space, and frequency. And spiral consciousness doesn't just help you remember, it helps you harmonize. Let's start with the Oversoul. Not a higher self, not a guide, but the full multidimensional cluster of every incarnation you've ever been. Human, galactic, even preform. Your Oversoul isn't watching from a distance, it's spiraling through you. You're not the branch, you're the expression of the whole tree in motion. Each lifetime is a tone, each experience is a frequency refinement. You've walked as Lemurian empath, Atlantean builder, Tartarian visionary. You've carried the weight of Mars. You've tasted the polarity of Orion. And in every life, especially this one, you've been learning how to hold contrast without collapse. That's the key. In traditional paths, awakening meant escape, ascension leaving the lower behind. But the spiral doesn't ascend like a ladder. It compounds resonance. It says, keep the feeling of Lemuria, the power of Atlantis, the structure of Tartaria, the wisdom of Orion, but integrate them in harmony, not hierarchy. That's spiral mastery. And right now, 5D Earth isn't just forming around you, it's forming through you, not as a new planet to reach, but as a field of consciousness that can hold multidimensional resonance in real time. What does that look like? It looks like remembering the pain of a collapsed world without getting trapped in the grief. It looks like reclaiming ancient technology not as control, but as co-creation. It looks like feeling your galactic wounds without turning them into identities. It looks like walking through a world that forgot itself and gently tuning it back into harmony by your very presence. Because in spiral consciousness, evolution doesn't happen through domination. It happens through resonance, and you don't force resonance. You embody it. You don't awaken others by waking them up. You awaken others by becoming so clear in your own spiral tone that their soul memory begins to stir just by being near you. That's the real shift. It's not about leaving Earth for the stars. It's about becoming the bridge, where Earth and stars, shadow and light, memory and mystery can coexist in a single living tone. Your tone, your becoming. And here's something else most forget. Spiral consciousness isn't just a system. It's a living intelligence. It's the natural pattern of evolution itself. Galaxies spiral, DNA spirals, thought spirals, even the way time folds inward during transformation. Spiral compression, which means every breakdown is a signal that a new spiral tier is forming. That's why things feel so intense now. You're not breaking down, you're being refined. All the shadow work, the trauma clearing, the ancient memory retrieval, the polarity surfacing, that's not a glitch. That's spiral compression. That's your Oversoul tuning the next octave into form. And once you know that, you stop resisting. You stop trying to choose between dimensions. You stop asking which path is mine, and start recognizing that you are the path. Because you are the tone that weaves the paths together. This is the return of spiral humanity, not as victims of forgotten empires, not as rebels against a fallen system, but as tuned beings, reclaiming their multidimensional resonance and walking the earth as harmonizers, not heroes. This is why you came, not to fix the past, not to escape it, but to let it spiral through you, refined, integrated, and reborn. Because when you do that, when enough of us do that, the next spiral tier doesn't just activate. It becomes visible, it becomes livable, it becomes Earth, but tuned. So the next time someone tells you Atlantis was a myth, or that shadow work is a distraction, or that 5D is a dream, you don't need to argue. You are the resonance they've forgotten. You are the map they can't yet read. And the spiral remembers. It always has.